Okay, share. You must just let me know volume if you can hear nicely, all right? Through the garage windows which are there, we saw the pool. The pool is actually coming from the entertainment area, which, just to remind you again, is subdivided here, another room through that door. Okay? In here is the staff quarters. Here's the staff quarters, right? Yeah. So it's just a toilet here. And here, this is the staff. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's a young bathroom inside, and there's a toilet inside. So this could just easily be another cottage, another little room. Our informal multi-letter. It's the bomb.com. Okay, so that's from the outside in the backyard. And then this here will take me through to the front, right? Yes. Okay, so this is the side of okay. So these walls need to be made higher. It is, isn't it? So this is, there we go. This would then be the entrance. Yeah. Okay, so the entrance to the front door is after we've come in the main gate. Okay. Let's see how that works now. And this is where we had come in through. Okay. That's full circle. So Matembi, that's just one video from an outside perspective. The houses that you've viewed before, do they look anything like that?
No, it's one, but yeah, one, I think earlier this year, it was looking like this one.
Okay.
And yes, the only problem with it, so it was the issue, because I was telling you, so the issue of negotiating with, because immediately the estate agent is like, no, the offer, it's like this, so they're not going to take any other offer, so it was there.
Okay. So then when you did your due diligence, pull the Lightstone report, did you perhaps have a look at how much is going for in the neighborhood? Did you have a look at how much the owner bought the property for and how much they bonded the property? Because I asked these questions because I found that there's a one deal that I'd gone through. It was at Swazi in Northcliffe. That owner bought the property for 1.7 million. He bonded the property for 2.2 million. Now he wasn't able to sell less than 1.950 because he's already in debt. I don't know what he's done with 500,000, but he's already in debt because he didn't do anything on the house. So some people, when they don't move from their negotiation, it probably means that they're in debt or we haven't gotten to the core of the problem, because we need to understand the core of the problem. And in this example that I've just given right now, the lady is 70 years old. She was looking after her husband that was quite sickly. The day I went to go and view the property, and I got this other information, sadly, is the day this guy passed away. Today is the guy's memorial. What am I doing on the guy's memorial? I'm signing and offered to purchase the house. But because she's in a state of like, you know what, I'm 70, I want to sell, I'll take what comes my way, I would assume. I'll find out tomorrow whether she has accepted my 1.350 to see what she's going to do with it. So the question always goes back, what problem are you solving? What situation are you finding on the ground? And the due diligence that you are doing, what is it to build up your story? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes. Like in that house,
Mm-hmm.
so the rental, you already calculated it before you go there, or you waited for you to go with the builder and then that's where you're going to do your calculations?
For me, the calculation started when I went to go and see the deal the first time. I first went to go and see the deal. She gave me the Lightstone report. She gave me the suburb report, which means I didn't even have to use my own toolkit. That afternoon, I came home and I thought, I wonder what is in them. And then I started the numbers. I started all the numbers that I had. And then when I looked, oh, I forgot to ask rates and taxes. I picked up my phone, sent a WhatsApp, rates and taxes, how much? I sent it, I filled in the information. The reason I start the numbers after viewing is to see what questions I may have missed. Then I start a WhatsApp conversation with the real estate agent, which means now I'm talking to them more than just once. I then ask those questions that I've forgotten to ask. I fill out the information. And then I sit and I think, I wonder what it would look like if the builder says 200,000. And then I put 200,000 in, then I look and I think, if I adjust the asking price, I wonder what the lowest could be. But I'm speculating at that point. So because I think there's something to look into, I call the builder, we go and review the property. And like Lebo said, I've built rapport by this time. I've WhatsApp messaged this lady. But when we got there, Cheryl was even hugging Lebo for the first time, and she only met Lebo. That's how much of a rapport we had already had, which then meant anybody that's coming with me is friendly. And Lebo went with the flow. Lebo hugged her back, and we were all talking. So some estate agents are not like that. Others are like that. But to answer your question directly, after viewing the property the first time, and then I asked the guy, in this situation, the tenant was there. I asked Cheryl, how much is the rent? She said 9,000. I said, okay. She says, but Jen, there's a very weird setup here. And I said, what is the weird setup? Because for her, it's weird. For me, it's normal. I said, what is the weird? She says it's like a commune, but it's not what the owner has agreed with the tenant. And so I'm like, okay. When we went inside, a 3-bed, 1 bath with a family room, a cottage outside, this guy has got 8 tenants. And then I asked him, hey, my guy, how long have you been staying here? Me and him were much further away than the real estate agent. What am I doing now? I'm fishing for information. Yeah, sisters, it's coming on 1 here at the end of September. My lease is going to expire. I said, yeah, there's a lot of people here, my guy. Is this all your family? No, these are my tenants. And he's proud. I said, your tenants? He says, yeah. I put up this drywall here. So he put up a drywall in the lounge to make 2 rooms. So there's the 3 original rooms. The lounge, he divided. It's got 2 rooms. That's 5 rooms, right? In the house, there's some queer little corner thing that looked like it could have been storage. He's made that a room also. The family room that goes onto the pool area, he's made that a room also. And the cottage outside, he made that a room also. He's now collecting 2,500 And I said, oh, okay, so how much is your rent? He even looked over his shoulder to see if the estate agent was close by. And he whispered, 2.5. That's how I got the information. So in my due diligence and my viewing while I was doing the videos, I was able to create enough distance with me and the tenant and me and the estate agent so that I get two sides of a story. And now the next time I go back with the builder, and Lebo was with me. What am I doing at this point? Now I'm throwing those hints of when she starts asking, oh, so what you going to do? Like, we've got a caviar taste, tin fish budget. So I just think we're just going to fix up what we can and rent it. Because you don't want to also talk about your strategy. You don't want to talk too much, because if they're going to see you've got these big ideas about something, when you make the offer to go in low, they're going to think, but if you've got big ideas, surely you've got money. So I keep the conversation basic. I started asking, Lebo, were we talking about her daughter? Who was the chiropractor?
Yeah, it was her daughter.
Who was her we were talking about everything else. If Lebo could just explain what she experienced in the conversation, while the builder, who I gave very specific instructions to, I said to Hubert, this is a 3-bed, 1 bath, family room, some spare little room, and a cottage. We're going in with 2 strategies. You're going to give me a quote on a student accommodation and a HMO. An HMO is a house of multiple occupants, which means there's 7 or more people, 5 to 7 people in there. This guy currently has got 8. I told him I want quotes for these 2, for nothing else. Why? Because I already sussed out, I'd done my due diligence. So Lebo, we got there, and what happened? What do you recall?
So with the builder, every time he referred to, it was the mannerisms of taking the pictures, of measuring and calculating and saying, by the time we left there, he could give you a clear picture of how we're going to go about actually renovating that place, how it's going to be subdivided, and how it's all going to flow. It left you feeling, well, for me, it left me feeling that there's a plan to this and it's actually doable with specific numbers to it. So when we were going through the actual house, the questions that he was asking, to say, okay, fine, how big is this room? Okay, let's come in and see. Okay, toilets, so ultimately at the end he calculated everything. And what I loved the most was, as much as this guy's been renting out Magogo's house illegally and had the goal to actually put up drywall in somebody else's house.
Yeah, the goal, right word.
Yeah, yet ultimately, when I saw that between Jenna and Hewitt, they're trying to solve the problem, right? They solved the problem for Magogo to say, can the house be on the market so that she can get on with grieving and. 2, they actually thought about the perpetrator, to say we bring him on as the tenant if we're going to have this strategy, and then he can generate. So already he was part of the plan. Instead of saying, yeah, we're going to buy the house and then we take them all out, they're buying the house and renovating it, making it a better living space, and then keeping him on because he's got a wife and a baby. So keep him on so it still doesn't have to pay rent, but he can assist with the maintaining because since he knows this. So, it was not just one solution for one particular person. It actually looked at all the stakeholders, and how do we solve the problem in such a way that it caters for everybody and not just one person. So I think that's what I loved the most, right? And yeah, as you were playing that video, I didn't realize how affected I was. But as you started playing it, I started having that smell, that poor people smell. I swear to God, I could start smelling it. I'm very affected by such things. My bourgeois self and that smell don't go.
Don't go together.
They don't go together. But yeah, overall for me, holistically, that's what I saw. I saw a lot of homework and preparation that was done before stepping on site and actually, doing the viewing. There was a lot of thought that went into it. There was a lot of strategic moves that were pulled in terms of the viewing to create that confidence in the agent as well. Because what I picked up is that these distressed houses, they're even embarrassed to put them in alignment to their own brand. Say, this is the shit that I sell. So they want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. They can't even take pictures. It's not up their alley.
Yeah.
So if somebody can actually take it, even better, So they're very, they want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. So it's as if you're taking away a headache. It's not a house they would be proud to tell their colleagues about that they're selling. So it's that hush embarrassment child type scenario. So I found, because the agent was speaking around, she normally uses the professional photographer.
Yes.
Like in my mind, with that smell, with that, I was even moving strategically through the passages, not to touch anything with myself, with my body. If I touched, it was with a finger that I made sure that I'm going to wash. But anyways, so like in all honesty, it's the level of commitment that you put in terms of preparation. So if you don't plan prior to stepping on site, that saying that they say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That scenario. So you have to be very strategic when you go on site. And I realized there's a lot of moving parts. So Matemba, like how you're struggling with the state agents, it's, are we talking with conviction when we get there with the numbers, reference to the builder? Are you bringing that professional builder to build that level of confidence? Such little things make a big difference overall. Because I realized that from their side, it's get rid of the property as quickly as possible. And also, from your side, do you look like you are going to buy this thing? Firstly, they're embarrassed by this thing. So if you're just coming to look and you're not, there's nothing of substantial value that you're talking, then they're quickly going to drop you because they cannot invest too much time in trying to sell this dump type scenario. So if you're coming in and you're showing, even they get excited about it. We had a neighbor come out of her yard looking at, this thing is seriously happening. And for me, what it said is that the neighbors also want the peace of mind to know that it's safe and it's, it's the neighborhood is not turning into a dump. So
very, very true.
All around is preparedness. Do your homework, run your numbers, talk with confidence, build rapport, bring the builder to boost your confidence, you know. So yeah, that's what I learned.
Awesome. I really, really appreciate that feedback. Matimbi, how did you find that feedback from Lebo?
It was good. I find it so interesting.
Okay.
Yes,
What do you find interesting? What nugget do you think you could walk away with this evening?
Especially for me, is to go with the builder when we go for viewing. Is to find a builder firstly, because I don't have the builder right now that understand all these things for properties.
But
A white person is even better, ne, my friend.
Oh, you're so naughty.
I'm
But I
just
hear
saying,
you. I hear
we
you.
believe white people better.
Yeah. But my thinking though, Matimbi, only go with the builder after you've been there the first time. Okay?
Mm,
Because the first time if you're going now with the builder, what if it's a property where the builder's just looking at you like, where am I start fixing now? You know what I mean?
mm. Yes, I'm with you.
So first go, and when you look at that, you go home and you run the numbers, because if truth be told, 90% of the numbers can be done after your first view. Okay? 90% of the numbers can be done after your first view. And if you think to yourself, there's value in this, I can still move forward, this is looking like something, then I say, call the builder and then go with the builder. Because if you just go with the builder once, the first time, and you get there and there's no work to be done, the builder's not going to trust you to go again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing that I just wanted to find out. Because you find that for you, you're just sourcing that property.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the builder now, it's looking for a job to do. And for you, you're just using him for the code and everything because you want to source it. Because it depends on the investor whether they want to use your builder or not.
Yeah. So this is now where you have to start adding who you are as Matembe into everything. And this is what I mean. When I
Mm-hmm.
first started going, and then I would ask a builder, Timber, I asked him because he did work in my house. So I had already had a relationship with him, right? And so the first time I went, the second time I went, the third time I went, then I realized if I don't find other small piece jobs that got nothing to do with property investing in between, this guy's going to get irritated going with me all the time. So when my friends would be asking, do you know a builder? What? Yes, I've got the perfect person. I would pitch him to a point where my friends were sold. And because he did work in my house, I was sold. Okay? So when I would find small jobs in between, I'll come and I'll say, Timber, come. But when I'm now taking Timber to my friend's house, I'll say, this is my friend, Shayman. She's had a rough time. She's had crazy quotes. Timber, I trust you, my friend. I know you're going to do right with my friend. Then I've now massaged him as well. So by the time he gets there, he mustn't also ask for stupid money. You know what I mean? So by the time we get to where we are now with Timber, and I ask him to come once or twice, there's no problems with that. Now, this deal, Lebo got to meeting Hubert because Hubert is part of another team. And he's part of a team who I'm selling the deal to. So I felt like I've put the opportunity together. I'm going to use the builder that this team uses for a quote, because now I'm shortcutting my whole process, right? And if this is going to be an HMO, let me check what zone. Is it is it a general residential zone 1, which then means there can't be more than 10 people in the house. I need to check that. So all of that's gone into the proposal. All of it's gone into the proposal. Now, when I give that team the proposal tomorrow, their due diligence is almost nothing. Why? Because I've used their builder for starters. I've used a system to double check the residential zoning, because I know in terms of HMOs, there's a regulation for every 4 people, there must be a bathroom. In that place, there's not. What do they want to do with it? So I then projected nicely in the proposal. So now when they get the proposal, I'm curious as to what other questions they will ask me. So this is what happens in sourcing. Every time you're going to find a new deal, you're going to learn new lessons. Every time you find a new deal, you're going to start learning certain strategies require more, others require less.
Yeah, yes, because as we are still talking about the builder, one of the investors was asking me of how do you, like, when you come to the builder, they need to write exactly that if, let's say, it's 100,000, it's 100,000 for what? So you need to distribute everything according. And my question again is, let's say they're sourcing like this deal, they're sourcing. So the payment, they are going to get the payment once the house is being registered, or?
In my negotiation in my NDA to all the investors that I source deals for, I say once the bond has been approved in principle, generally 2 days later or 3 days later, the bank verifies everything. I want my money at that point. And I'll be told at that point that the bond has been approved in principle, because I'm going to talk to the conveyancing attorney. Why? Because in the OTP, I've then said, my conveyancing attorney that's doing the transfer, this is their details. I'm not using the same conveyancing attorney as the seller. So now my conveyancer has my interest at heart, and I'm able to say, Bruno, I've sourced this deal, and on approval, this is XYZ.
Oh, okay. The money you are not asking to from the, like, I do have the deal, and like today, it was being approved everything in such a way that 3 banks, they approved, it was 10.95. Luckily, because of networking, I was able to negotiate with ABSA until the clients were able to get 10.8.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, but now it's the issue. I told the lady of, like, I'm sourcing you this deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I was waiting for all the process until so far, but I did not make her sign anything, although she agreed of the payment. So that's why I'm asking. So in that case, what to do then? Like for me, it was like, okay, you are going just to pay me for my sourcing and everything. So, but it's excluded in this bond. So I don't know.
So where the investor gets the sourcing money from, Mathembi, that is not your worry to worry, okay?
Okay.
But in the
Yes.
same breath, sign something so that they know they need to pay you.
Okay. Okay.
For me, that's the only way I can. Somebody needs to know they need to pay you. You need to sign something. I've got a standing NDA with 3 people, because I've decided over time I'm only sourcing with these 3 people. Why? Because I know who the builders are. I know I've got relationships with each of those teams, people. So if I call today and I think this deal is really, really good for group 1, I'm going to call their builder. If it doesn't really work out, then I'll say, oh, I'm so sorry, it didn't work out, right? But I already know I've got from a reputable person. I'm going to go to the next investing team and then ask, would you like to verify with somebody else's builder, or do you want to go with your own builder to verify? but let the three of us go together. You, the investor, with your builder, and me. Then I'll be able to set up the story for the real estate agent. And if I already started with the real estate agent, there's a few of us in a partnership, then I'll be able to say, you know what, here's the last coming. The last people from the partnership, they didn't quite agree with the last builder. So we're coming with this one's builder. Ganti, back at the ranch, I'm using an entirely different team.
Okay.
Yeah. So it goes back to that. So now the question goes, before you go in with a builder, what are you going to do? You're going to go and view the property without the builder. And in all of this negotiations that you do, start creating relationships. Go onto SA Property Investors Network, the Facebook page, and say, I am in, say, for example, the East Rand. Is there anyone in the East Rand that is a reliable builder that can help me with the quote? We do this every day. And you'll find all the different builders, all the different investors will come with their builders and be able to give you their details.
Okay. No, I'm fine now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with this other person, however you're going to get the money, I trust that your relationship, is going to work out, and you're going to have trust in the relationship you have with this person.
Yeah.
Okay. We good?
Yeah. For me, I'm good.
Okay. Lebo, you're right there.
Fabulous and blessed, Stella.
Awesome stuff. Cool. So ladies, when we started talking and we got into the crux of things, I went into recording mode. So I've recorded the last bit since we viewed the video. So prior to that, I didn't record anything, which I think is still okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So if we haven't, okay, sorry, I was just typing that for YouTube. So if we haven't, if we don't have any other questions, I just want to confirm that we're still good for next week, Friday.
Yeah.
At
We're
Bruno's
good for
office. Yeah, from 10.
Good for next week, Friday. But now my question is, you posted something on Telegram regarding your another meeting.
Yes, meeting.
Yeah.
That meeting is tomorrow.
Okay, what's going on around that? Maybe.
Okay, I could give you guys an overview. But Tembi, are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. So the long and short of this, just mind me, I'm going to turn and look at my board because I've got everything written on my board. I don't know if you guys can see. So there's a lot of things that's going on. Very serious. Turned this room into a proper office. Anyway, so the long and short is, as you both know, I started doing this one-day course in May. So it's been May, June, July, August, September. And in these 5 months, I've been tracking what has been working, what has not been working, on all spheres. Content, how I can add to content, what are the common questions that keep coming up, and all that sort of things, right? Venue has been really good. The flip side of the venue for me is on a Saturday, if I don't have somebody with me, I then end up having to give the access card to one of the delegates to use to come in and out of the building. If the security guard is not at the security post, my students chill at the gate for a long time. And it got progressively worse at the last 2 trainings. So from all of these different things, I then decided to also give Bruno notice, one. And I just shared with him, it's been a great experience and I've enjoyed, being there and whatnot. However, in the same breath, week 8, we will still go back to Bruno's office, but we'll sit in his boardroom and we'll be a guest in his office. So that doesn't go away from the 8-week training, because I find that a lot of the team has found Bruno's conversations very valuable. And that's really worked as well for me, where we all getting back together to do a one-on-one. So that's one on venue. 2, the content, I've been building some more. The long and short of the content is I've now changed it to 1.5 days. The reason I've done this is next month I'm introducing a free seminar based on my book that I've just written. Matembi, did you get a chance to download my book?
Yes.
That's going to help you in your sourcing, okay? So read that book, and where you don't understand, let's have those one-on-one conversations so that we can drive the knowledge home, all right?
Yes.
So now I'm starting with free seminars as of next month on the 3rd of October. I'm currently either going to choose between Sunninghill and Bryanston. I'm just waiting for Sunninghill's quotation to come in. So I'm going to have a free seminar unpacking the book. But my main idea is not just to have a free seminar like a lot of other property places, only talking about property. I want to talk about the entrepreneurial experience. I want to talk about jumping before having a plan, and actually finding your rhythm in what you think your passion is. And then I'll talk about property investing. So for me, property investing, it may be the cornerstone of everything, but it is not the main topic of the free seminar. But because my financial freedom door is property investing, obviously the crux of the evening is going to be about property investing. So I've now introduced a free seminar as of next month, and I'm going to try it out to see what works and what doesn't work. Adding more content, adding more structural content is now given me, I was able to sit with my coach, my business coach, and work out a proper solid training price. And my business coach has come up with 1,997. And it's a fair price. Actually, they initially came up with 5,997. And I said, no, that's not channeling where I'm going to, because I can't go from 299 to 5,997. In my mind, that's what I said. So nonetheless, I've gone from the 299, because the 299, I've 90% of my students have all had investing background. They've gone to the class or they've had some sort of coaching. So a lot of the terminology they've caught. But now my challenge only came in when the jargon became so normal that some of my students that were not property people highlighted this to me. And that's why I put the extra content in to start talking about when we get started, what is our objective, what is the requirements, the property, the condition of a property. Why do we say that a smelly house brings us money? Because there's certain things that we'll talk about. And then I've got a video of a distressed viewing that I've done. And then we open for discussion. Then from those discussions, and I say, what else do you think? Or what else looks like a property opportunity? Then we start talking about motivated sellers. What makes a seller motivated? So that we're all bringing to awareness our own understanding. And then I close it off with the understanding of a property investor. I move that into passive income, which is the multi-let, buy-to-let, HMO. And then I start giving definitions, explanations, and pictures about what these different strategies are. Then I go into active income, where I talk about sourcing and joint ventures specifically, because those are the two that the one I've written about, the second book is on its way that I've got TJ as a co-author, and you'll be able to read it from his perspective and from my perspective. So I'm going to share that the same knowledge can breed different perspectives to the same people that have got the same end result, but because we understood the content differently. And then I talk about active income from that perspective. Then I unpack my lessons in the deals, because the three deals that I've unpacked talk to all this content that I've just laid out. And then in day 2, I then talk about, so how do we actually find a property opportunity? We're going to find one, we're going to make the phone call. Actually, we're going to find one, we're going to do the numbers, and then make the phone call. So people are accountable even after the training. And once that happens, I'm still going to introduce the 8-week program, because it's still very, very applicable. So I'm sharing this tomorrow with the team, because those that may still be a little bit fuzzy on the difference between a multi-let and a HMO, those that are still curious about joint ventures that we may not have spoken about enough, whatever topic stands out to the students that I've coached, I want them then to come into the classroom for free for that weekend. But what I will then do is have it as a straddled approach. I'll have 10 paying customers, 2 students. 10 paying customers, sometimes 4 students. Why? Because then at least my students being there are also being upskilled, being reminded of these different definitions, having the clarification, and. And so explaining this tomorrow then brings to awareness of what is done differently. And any of my students that say, you know what, Jen, there's somebody else that's interested, they now know the new process. Okay. And going forward, it's also an opportunity for me to get some more face-to-face time with some of my students that have also gone quiet, just to see how are they doing, where else can I help, have they decided that property is still for them, have they decided to walk away from property, and things like that. So it also just helps me on a full scale understand that I'm putting this together not because I want to be a new competitor to a Think and Grow Rich or to a Legacy, but I want to serve the people that I'm serving in a small strategic way. That's 1. 2, I want to get my room full quicker. Why? Because there's some people that then call me on Saturday morning and tell me it's too cold. So to me, that just means the $299, somewhere along the line, I believe $299 was okay to keep postponing. And so now having somebody commit a bit more, having come to the free seminar, and then also understand who I am from word go. It means in the classroom, there's a lot more time to go into content instead of talking about my journey into property. So my journey into property this time around will be less than 10 minutes. Then I'll be able to ask, so anyone relates to where I was, who's feeling the way I was feeling? So now can we be here to unpack those feelings and see what we can do? So then I'm able to use that on a more constructive basis. So that's a conversation for tomorrow, just to share the way forward. And if you want to, it's not a have to, but if you want to, on a first come first serve basis, once a month you can then start joining. And if the team then feels like, you know what, maybe Jen, we could have a 2 or 3 hour session one of the days, and then you can fill in the content, or whichever way. I just feel though that everyone should have the option to come back into the classroom, to feel the energy of new people, to feel the energy and take the newness to a different level. That would be my thinking. And that's what I was going to propose tomorrow. What do you ladies think?
No, Jenny, it seems the way you explain, yeah, it's good, especially as we are saying, just for the student, because sometimes if now you are relaxed and you are no longer keep on contact, maybe, but immediately we are grouping those people together again. So the thing again, it's keep on saying, no, let me move on, let me continue. Yes, because maybe if it's just a training and therefore after 8 weeks we are just dumped there and therefore see to it. But if there are those causes, I think it's a good idea, those seminars.
Yeah. And also, that's the whole aim as well, Matembi, when I shared with my students in the beginning, why you are in the Telegram group is even beyond your 8 weeks. You can come back and visit any other sessions again that you may be struggling with. Because that's a reality. There's something that you may be struggling with.
Yes.
Maybe a new energy. Maybe there's a new energy that will be able to help you, help. And I'm not saying you as in you, but I'm just saying
Yes.
help us in general.
And that you are correct. You are correct, Jen. Because in life, you need that thing. Because when times it's continuing, so sometimes you find yourself, I'm tired now. But if you keep on, that's why we even go to church now and again, just to revive ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's like soap. It's recommended daily. Lebo, what do you think?
For me, the whole aspect of taking into consideration the mindset as well is quite critical, because of the romantic idea of what we have, like the romantic idea about property, right? So from that first class, if you're unpacking the reasons why, so I think you're delving in more deeper in terms of the why the person is there. What are they there for? Are they there to focus on their active or their passive income? Or why are they actually doing this? Because that actually dictates the interest levels. I might just have this idea that it's going to be this way, and then it turns out to be the other way. So it saves time in terms of deciphering if this is for you or if this is not for you. Because I realize most people, what they do, they love the idea of things. I love the idea of being a millionaire. But actually, the work that actually comes with it, I'm not prepared to do it.
Yeah.
So those scenarios. So I think from that angle, it will work quite a bit, and then you're taking it back to the basics in terms of the jargon, because the whole overwhelming. For you, it rolls off the tongue, but for somebody like me who's never been exposed to property, some of those initial jargon words were like, okay, what are they talking about? Okay, fine, I get it. But I think it's a lovely idea to break it down from that angle as well.
Cool.
And getting everybody else's input. I mean, as they're coming back and relearning and sharing their experiences, it enriches the class learnings as well for the new students, and also giving them support in terms of what they need to actually grow in the property business as well.
Absolutely. And it really just for me is the greater picture of why we're here. What is it that we're doing, what we're doing? And I really want to make a mark on people, and they mustn't, I think my hang up, which I know I must let go, is people don't have to pay 70 and 100,000 to realize property is not their thing. Do you know I've had how many sets of students, and I know it's not my baby to cry about, but I've had how many sets of students that were not in the position to spend that money, realize later, this property thing is not for me. And my heart would break, because I just think, this person went to go and get a loan. Jesus, take the wheel. Now they're going to be paying for a loan for the next 3 to 4 years on a skill that they're not going to use. And that's why I say I know that I must get over that hang up, because if I don't get over that hang up, I'm going to be carrying it along the way, and I'm going to attract the same sort of stuff. But my main thing is to get people involved. Very, very, very few people choose one-on-one now that group coaching is an option. There's 2 people. For the last 25 to 30 people I've trained, there's 19 of us in the group. There's 2 people, 2 that are on one-on-one coaching, 2, which tells me then there's a need for this sort of thing. And that's really where I'm wanting to go. And if any of my students want to do the 8-week coaching again, they can do it from the beginning again, to go through the whole process as a refresher. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow, ladies. And that's where I'm going to, as a company, with this business. However, for me, the idea right now is in October and November, can I do this strategy to see how it works out, right? And I'm confident that it will, because my Durbanites, they are short of actually just putting me in a plane. Because I'm going to do the free seminar in Durban, and I'm going to do a free seminar here in Joburg. So send all the positive energy, not wish me luck. We don't need luck when there's these things that we're doing. So send me all the positive energy. And again, to both of you as well, when we start this process and you decide, you know what, I actually want to go through this whole process again, now that I know what I'm going to expect, have that conversation with me. Because my aim is, while I'm still at Bruno's office, which is for Saturday and next month coming, I want to do this finish. The next time in November, I'm going to run those sessions from Flexi Workspace. It's up the road from me. It's a 16-seater. There's ample security. There's a security there 24/7, because there's tenants that belong in that building and there's visitors. And when I work out what happens for that day, I'm literally going to have somebody that's going to come in, do a sound check with me with the projectors and all sorts of stuff, and set up the coffee and water area and also, by charging a little bit more, I want to also add a bit more refreshments and a light lunch. And the light lunch just really is what it is called, a light lunch. So if it would be a quarter chicken and a salad sort of thing, it's a light lunch. That's what I'm aiming for. Can you feel like a lot more of a rhythm of it being a training, and then we eat together, we have that conversation and things like that.
Sounds viable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go for it. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So look out for the free seminar. It's on the 3rd of October. It's going to be from 6:30 to 8:30. I'm also not going to have people doing the welcoming and like a lot of theatrics, what a lot of people do. We're going to start at 6:30, and probably with a distressed property video to wake up people, like, why did she just play that? The introduction to the book, literally unpacking my journey and explaining why I do what I do now. And then I'll be able to upsell the training, and then the training as well. 48 hours you've got to pay. You don't pay, you can't be part of training. I have to get more strict, because I've lost a lot of money with people that have taken their time, and then I'm not able to fill a spot. Cool. So ladies, that is me for the evening. Is there any maybe closing comments that you may, closing statements, comments, feelings?
No, we feel energetic. We energize us. So it was great, Jenny. Awesome. So if anything, we will just,
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Lebo, you good?
From my side.
Wonderful
I'm
stuff.
good.
Ladies, take good care. Love you guys lots. Next week, Friday, 10 till 12. back at
No
Sunning
problem.
Hill. Matembe, I'll send you the details of the place. Come through
Okay.
between 10 and 12. We usually just connect, hala hala, how you've been doing, what you've been up to. We have some tea and some cake. Bruno comes in. He talks about what I give him an instruction to do. He generally gives me 30 minutes. From there, I ask Alexa, come back in and talk about how we can use suspensive conditions to our advantage from an investment point of view. We close off the day. And like I said, everything of that nature happens in the 2 hours. We close off the day and then we're good to go. What I have done is, as you've seen on the group, I have invited others that may not have had a chance to hear Bruno talk from a trust company and personal point of view. And I did that purposely because not only because we're a small class, but initially when I shared with the group the last time that the June coaching group had that as a subject, everybody else wanted to come. So I just figured if there's everyone else that is still serious about it, they too can come and join us.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So take care, ladies. Have a good evening, or what's left of it.
Yeah, same to you with your cat.
Thanks, eh? Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.